There are just 4 active coronavirus cases in Victoria after no new infections were recorded for a 10th day in a row. It comes after further restrictions are eased across the state. Reporter Stephanie Ferrier joins us now from Melbourne. Hi there, Steph. Can you take us through firstly the numbers?
Yes, so as you mentioned there, Catherine, another day yet again of 0 new cases and 0 deaths, a 10th day in a row, which is really great news for all Victorians. Our death toll remains at 819. Our 14-day rolling average for metropolitan Melbourne is now still steady at 0.4, with 2 mystery cases still over the past fortnight. But the Department of Health has actually taken that figure off their daily tweet because they say it's not as relevant anymore as the number of tests involved and also the active cases. We're now down to just 4 active cases across Melbourne, none in the regions. 2 of those people are in hospital with neither requiring intensive care. And we have seen more than 10,500 tests collated as well. Jerome Weimar, the Department of Health's testing commander, said there was actually a very low positive that was found last night, but this was a person who had quarantined in WA and had travelled back from there after being cleared of the virus and then had a very low positive. So the Chief Health Officer and an expert panel have reviewed that and determined that this isn't an active case. This is simply a bit more of that viral shedding that we hear about. So that is why we still have 0 active cases. But what he has said is that despite the number of 10 zeros in a row, he is still concerned that there could still be traces of the coronavirus out there in the community. That's why it's so important to still get tested. He said the numbers have been great, with more than 235,000 tests being conducted over the past fortnight. And what we have also seen is quite a large proportion of them, a quarter of them being children aged under 19, and then another third between 20 and 39. So he really wanted to give a special shout out to parents and schools out there.
We've seen a significant increase in the number of children coming forward to get tested as children are going back to school, as we're seeing a bit more contact between people, as colds and flus are starting to make a bit of a comeback, and we are seeing more children with symptoms. And it's fantastic that schools and parents are being very vigilant and are ensuring that any child who is showing any symptoms is getting tested.
And so what he does say as well is that as we see more workplaces starting to kick back into action now, he wants employers to do the same thing and make sure that they encourage any of their workers to go and get tested at the smallest sign of symptoms. And he's also saying that there's some 14,000 in the past couple of weeks of the asymptomatic testing, this sentinel or surveillance style testing that they have done for the food industry as well as healthcare and aged care workers too. And they're going to try and roll that out into more industries.
OK, and Steph, we heard from the Premier over the weekend, Daniel Andrews, announcing a lifting of restrictions that came into effect at midnight overnight. Can you take us through some of those?
Yes, it's been a really great day here in Victoria as we have seen that ring of steel, the so-called the border between regional and metropolitan Melbourne, come down at the stroke of midnight. That is going to mean that Victoria is reunited once again and families can reconnect after being separated for so many months. We've also seen the scrapping of that 25 kilometre from home limit, and we have also seen plenty of other industries being able to open up. Gyms opened up last night at the stroke of midnight. We saw lots of people very keen, a lot of real gym frantic people trying to line up and get straight in there on the treadmill. They didn't want to waste a second, and they say that that's good not just for their physical health but their mental health as well, and perhaps also to help get rid of or flatten that curve from the cafes, because we are seeing hospitality also being able to open up even further. As of today, 40 people inside and 70 people outside. We're also seeing the numbers of gaming venues also open up, the casino in a limited way, music as well. And we're also seeing cinemas for the first time open up with up to 20 people per space. And we spoke to some cinema owners and managers who have said that this has really been great, and some even had midnight screenings as well to celebrate the occasion. In our homes as well, we can now have 2 adults from different households. They don't have to be just from the same household, 2 visitors, and that is also really great news as well, just to be able to have some more people over to your house.
And that good news is expected to continue in just under 2 weeks, where the Premier foreshadowed the next stage of the lifting of restrictions, potentially.
Yeah, so from midnight, I think on the 22nd of November, this will be the last step before COVID normal, and what we will be seeing is those density or those restrictions on hospitality being eased even further. 100 people indoors with density limits, of course, and 200 people outdoors. Weddings will be able to have more people. We will see outdoor gatherings increase to 50 for people. We'll also be able to welcome up to 10 people to our homes as well from different households too. So we are really looking forward to having more of a normal life here. And of course, we are still wearing the masks at the moment. There could be some further information given on when we might be able to drop those, particularly as the warmer weather comes up. But Jerome Weimar and the Premier have both said that this is a very small sacrifice for the greater good that masks can do. We're also wondering whether or not we might hear some further information about workplaces being able to ramp up, because of course anybody who can work from home still must work from home, and the Chamber of Commerce here would like to see some of those workplaces open by Christmas. We're of course all just hoping that we can have as normal a Christmas as possible.
Well, great to talk to you, Stephanie, with some good news coming out of Melbourne.
Thanks.